In 2006, while living in San Diego, I was violently attacked and mugged by a guy with a hammer. The brutal assault left me with a concussion, a black eye, and several staples in my head. It also left me with a deep and profound sense of vulnerability and fear. Like many people who experience trauma, I spent months replaying the event in my mind. I asked myself questions like, why did this happen? Why did the attacker choose me? What could I have done differently? At first, I thought my suffering came from the attack itself, but eventually I realized something that changed my life. While the attack lasted only a few moments, my relationship to the attack lasted much longer. And that's what I want to talk about today. In the last video, we talked about recognizing the stories that shape our lives. But awareness alone isn't enough. At some point, we have to ask, what story am I still carrying? And what would happen if I let it go? When I say let it go, what exactly are we releasing? Many people think release means forgetting. Others think it means pretending something never happened. But that's not what I'm talking about. We're not releasing the event. We're releasing our relationship to the story we've attached to the event. This distinction is powerful. Think about it. The event might be, I was attacked. But the story becomes, I am a victim. The event might be, I was rejected. But the story becomes, I am unlovable. The event might be, I failed, but the story becomes, I am a failure. The event happened once. The story gets repeated thousands of times, and that's why transformation doesn't begin when we change the event. Transformation begins when we examine the story, because the story is where suffering often continues long after the experience itself is over. Unfortunately, this isn't just a personal problem. It's one of the defining challenges of modern life. Today, millions of people are carrying stories they never stop to examine. Some people define themselves by their worst experience. Others become trapped in political identities that tell them who they should fear and who they should blame. Social media constantly feeds us stories about who we should be, what we should look like, and how successful we should become. And news cycles often keep us locked inside narratives of danger, outrage, and helplessness. Many people aren't exhausted because of what happened. They're exhausted because of what they're still carrying. And that's exactly what I discovered after I was attacked and mugged in San Diego. For years, I carried that experience with me wherever I went. The attack became more than a memory. It became part of my identity. Fear shaped how I saw the world. Anger shaped how I interpreted people. Resentment shaped how I thought about the future. But then something unexpected happened. As I began writing about the experience, I started seeing it differently. I wasn't just reliving the attack anymore. I was examining it, questioning it, learning from it, and slowly something began to shift. As I wrote about the attack, I began to create distance between myself and the event. Instead of reliving the experience, I was observing it. Instead of being trapped inside the story, I was becoming the storyteller. That shift changed everything, because for the first time, I realized I was more than the worst thing that had ever happened to me. I wasn't my fear, or anger, or resentment. I wasn't even the attack itself. I was the person holding the pen, and once I recognized that, I could begin releasing the story that had been defining me for years. Now it's your turn to pick up the pen and respond to these writing prompts. The first prompt is, what experience do I continue to replay? What experience do I continue to replay? The second prompt, what story have I created about that experience? What story have I created about that experience? Prompt 3, how has that story shaped my identity? How has that story shaped my identity? Prompt 4, what would change if I stopped defining myself by it? What would change if I stopped defining myself by it? And finally, prompt 5, what am I ready to release today? What am I ready to release today? Reflective writing did not erase the attack I experienced in San Diego. It did not remove the scars. What it gave me was something far more valuable. It allowed me to stop seeing myself as a victim of my story and begin seeing myself as its author. And that's ultimately what release is. Not changing the past, but changing your relationship to it. Because when you release the stories that no longer serve you, you create space for a new story to emerge. If you'd like to learn more about these topics, please remember to subscribe to my channel. Also, be sure to check out my free ebook, 4 Easy Steps to Transform Your Life Through Disruption, at drdwaynecuster.com. I'll see you soon, and I hope you have a great day.